I remember playing Street Fighter as a kid. I never remember these references and these organizations and just the thought processes that I've been developing over it. Like, I just what? Okay, so we all know Street Fighter with our lovable and just our favorite characters from Ryu, Ken, Blanca, Nash to Guile, E Honda. Is it Dhalsim? I never knew how to pronounce that. Is it Dhalsim? Chun-Li, Cammy. Just the list goes on. Just a classic game that I remember playing as a kid on Super Nintendo and just challenging my brothers and my family and my friends and getting bodied and getting a few W's. I got some W's sometimes. It's just been weird, man. The past night has been definitely weird. One of the reasons why is I thought about one of the characters, which is the main antagonist, M. Bison. I don't know what to say about this dude, man. Besides the fact that he's just drastically different from everybody else. Everybody else seem like they have a power, and it's somewhat a power it just seems a little more natural that they have it. Even though it may have very well been something that they have acquired later on in life, something that they obtained in some sort of way. But for some reason, his always seemed it was just odd. It was always very mystic and very mystique about how his powers came about and just the way he carries himself, his agenda. You know, I never really knew if it was a human, if he was a demon just in human form. You know, it was really hard to tell. I was paying attention to this guy, and I had recently saw the Street Fighter movie. I saw the original one from 1994. I saw that one. That was terrible. And I saw the newer one that was done in like 2009, and that was equally as terrible. It was a bit better with some of the fighting sequences, but overall, it was still booty. It was still booty cheeks. That movie was so bad, and it was just so bad. But what caught my attention about this guy was the fact that his organization I felt like this organization was involved in. Alright, so I feel like his organization was involved in CERN. I feel like they were into antimatter. I feel like it was definitely involved with the Illuminati, especially with Gil, one of the characters. His agenda was one world government. He had a lot of references to Shiva and Buddha, and I believe that's where these organizations was mixed up into, like I said, into antimatter, and that's where they were able to harvesting dark energy, thus giving him psycho power. And this was from me like driving myself crazy last night. You know, and you really don't notice this, you know, with just how dope the game was, man. Look at this. I mean, you can't go wrong with this. Island. The music was so dope, but one thing that's catching me is this statue. It was constant like references to Buddhism and I'm not sure if it's Hinduism and you know, they're in Thailand right now. Like, there were constant references to Bangkok and Thailand. You know, it's just, man, this dude is throwing it at him. Look at this statue, man. Like, this was the headquarters. This was Bison, one of his headquarters. This is one of his bases. And in one of the endings in, man, is he gonna lose this? There's no way. He was working on Ken. He is not for the Saga is not for to lose this. No way! Wow, that dude is a beast. That dude is clutch. It was constant references to Thailand, and that particular statue in one of the endings in Street Fighter Alpha 3 was the headquarters. And then the statue would, like an explosion or something would happen around its face, and it would reveal like a robot skeleton. The nose was gone, and the eyes were red, and then it would activate, and the eyes would turn green, and it was so stupid. Instead of it shooting out of the mouth, which was a little more gangster, it shot out of the nose. Like, come on, bro. But that shot out of the nose and went into the sky and hit one of these satellites. The satellite that it hit, if I'm not mistaken, the name of it is Beelzebub. Beelzebub, if I'm not mistaken, is a demon. I don't know if it's a depiction of Satan or if it's just a demon itself, but yeah, the fact that they had that as the name, and then there was a skull as on the front of the satellite. Beelzebub, sometimes I refer to as for the devil, is known in demonology as one of the 7 princes of hell. Wow. He's known as the Lord of the Flyers. It's just, there's a lot embedded in this game. Like I said, one of Bison's main agendas was to control all the governments in the world. He wanted total control, totalitarian control over all the governments of the world, which is initially multilateralism, one world government. His organization, like I said, they already have dealings in space and they got satellites up there and things like that. I believe they had an agenda that was similar to CERN's, which is, you know, I don't even think it was an agenda at that point. I think this game was depicting it as they had successfully figured it out and was able to harvest it, thus giving this guy the ability to use it, you know, as his power, psycho power. I was always wondering why all his movesets were psycho this, psycho that, and most of his moves came with, especially if you watch in the earlier, his sprites would come with a like a black and purplish sort of hue. Whenever I see something like that, I see like a black and purple dark sort of hue, is usually something cosmic related, something related to you know, something that's a little more alien, out of this world, something a little more dark and sinister. Whenever I see that, that's what it makes me think of, and that's immediately where I end up going with that. CERN as well, with me talking about an organization that's interested in harvesting dark energy, antimatter. One of the statues that's located on their premises is the statue here in the top right corner. Shiva, I think it's the dancing destroyer. She has like 5 personas, and I think one of them is like the destroyer, the preserver, the creator. It's a couple other ones, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I keep saying she, it's a he, if I'm not mistaken as well. But it was just, I thought that was just the hugest coincidence that both of these, the character and this organization in real life, have connections with, you know, Hinduism, and these statues, these deities, and these statues, and these images. I just thought that was strange, man. I thought Gil was extremely strange. The fact that they had him in there, and just the tone of his body, and he was supposed to be like, I guess, like god of fire and ice or something like that, which gave him the red and blue tone and the crazy, I think it's orange or blonde hair, I don't know. And he has a white thong on. What is that about? He was kind of like giving off like a Greek god sort of vibe, how they, you know, depict, how they're often depicted. But this is what I've been sitting up like thinking about the last couple days. This is like, they had a game that really had all this embedded in it, and as a kid you don't catch or pay attention to any of it. You know, you're just playing the game, you're just enjoying how dope the game is, you're just enjoying playing as Ken and Ryu and Guile and all these players, Zangief, but the game just seemed like it really had a lot of things embedded in it. And I just wanted to get on here and just show you what was running through my head. What do y'all think, man? Am I tripping? Doing too much? Look at this screen. I'm clearly doing too much. Or am I? This is crazy, yo. Oh, and then oh man. So I was wondering why Mike Tyson was used as a reference in this game with Balrog. So in Japan, Balrog, M. Bison, and Vega, all their names are switched back in Japan, and when it arrived over in the US, to avoid issues, they kind of swapped names around. But M. Bison was originally Vega. Vega was originally Balrog, and of course Balrog was originally M. Bison, which is Mike Bison, which of course a variation in the name of Mike Tyson. But I was wondering, like, why him? Like, why was that depiction used as one of M. Bison's, like, you know, one of his notable henchmen? It was crazy. Then on the back of his hoodie, it had Crazy Buffalo on the back of his hoodie. So you can tell that originally that name was supposed to be for him. You know, Bison being a type or a buffalo or something like that. You know, that's another name for it. And that was on the back of his hoodie. You know, it's crazy that they would have that. So you clearly see that there was a name switch, but it was just confusing as to why was Mike Tyson used. You know what I mean? Why was he used as the depiction for this? And he was he was a very important player when it came to his organization, Shadowloo, that name was weird too, because it goes under different names. It was Shadowloo, then Shadow Law, then Shadow Lao, and it's just like, what is going on here? It was just weird. I'm gonna leave y'all alone, man. That's my rant. Street Fighter was involved in some they had some crazy storylines, man. It seemed like it was a lot embedded into it. 1987 or 85, probably earlier than that, low key, before it hit America. Like, comment, share, subscribe, man. Let me know your thoughts, and I will catch you guys later, man. Peace.